Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So, we've been tracking this story about the teacher beaten unconscious by the 270-pound student over the Nintendo Switch. And in this one from the New York Post, she tells the Post that he spat in her face and called her a whore. And we actually have a bit of an interview, so let's just go ahead and tune in.
To think that they left me for dead, they let him come at me multiple times. They didn't render me any aid or any protection. Like, Flagler schools and Flagler County sheriffs failed me that day. Absolutely failed me that day. I believe it was like up to 30 years, whether it's a combination of whatever, group homes, whatever, jail. He definitely needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail for what he did to me.
I agree, and maybe some of the people at the school might need to be held a little accountable too, as they did not necessarily stand around, but there was people in the same room that weren't so quick to help her. The last thing I remember was having my hand on the door handle, she told the Post in her first major interview since being beaten unconscious by a student over a Nintendo Switch last February. I don't remember anything else until when I came to, and at that point I was in the ER and my son and daughter were standing there. In an attack that's been viewed more than 10 million times across the globe, then 17-year-old Brendan Deppa, 6'7", 200 pounds, pummeled Nadich with more than a dozen kicks and punches as she lay motionless on the floor. With his sentencing slated for later this month, Nadich opened up about the case, and what preceded an assault that left her with 5 broken ribs, a concussion, and a shattered psyche, including how Deppa spat on her and called her names, because she had signaled to his teacher that his gaming device was a distraction. The Rhode Island native, 59, moved to North Florida's Palm Coast 2 decades ago and first worked in the Flagler County School District beginning in 2003. After toiling in the Matanzas High School cafeteria for nearly 2 decades, Nadich pursued the certifications necessary to become a paraprofessional classroom aide. With 2 of her children in the district, the position allowed her to remain close to them throughout the day while also earning a living. Nadich first encountered Deppa, an autistic teen, in January 2022 in a special needs classroom. She provided assistance to the primary teacher, ensuring Deppa and his classmates made it to their various destinations throughout the day. Deppa, who was adopted as a young child and then sent to live in a group home, came across her as an intelligent but troubled teen. When agitated, he would pelt her and other staffers with epithets, usually some variant of the term bitch. But for more than a year, she never sensed any physical threat from her student. He would try to intimidate, she said, but during that school year, it never got to the point where he became violent, it was just verbal. When calm, Deppa would flash an advanced intellect, showing enough self-control to attend a computer class with the general education students at Matanzas High School. Video games, as Nadich would soon learn, were his consuming passion. Other than him being outwardly defiant, I didn't notice that there was anything wrong with him, she said. He was a normal kid. Deppa would bristle if Nadich inquired about a classroom performance, telling his teacher to stop spying on his school life. On other occasions, the towering teen and diminutive teacher would discuss his college prospects and a potential future in computers. Nadich told him about Bethune-Cookman University, a historically black college in nearby Daytona Beach. She recalled pursuing college flyers with Deppa in an area just feet from where he would eventually assault her. The day that would vault Nadich into a dark viral lore began routinely, with her waiting for his van to arrive from the group home. Deppa's bus privileges had been revoked. He arrived in a disgruntled state, annoyed that he had to wait for other students assigned to Nadich to arrive before they could go to the cafeteria for breakfast. Deppa told her he hadn't been given dinner the previous night. He was agitated, she said, but no more agitated than usual. After eating, Deppa went to his regular special needs class. As his main teacher, Nadich said she would allow him to use his Nintendo Switch if he completed his academic tasks. As was customary, she then walked with him to his next class, a general education course on cybersecurity. Nadich noted that he had a substitute, and she explained to the teacher that she would sit off to the side and monitor Deppa in class if he needed assistance. The substitute shot a glance at Nadich after Deppa pulled his gaming device and distracted some of the other students with it. The paraprofessional asked him to put it away, and he obliged. But he produced it again toward the end of the period, prompting another look of annoyance from the substitute. Nadich texted his primary instructor, who would teach him next, and told her that it would be wise for Deppa to not bring the device to the computer class moving forward. They then returned to Deppa's regular classroom, where his primary teacher broached the issue. Deppa realized Nadich had informed her of what happened in the prior class, and Deppa's volcanic temper began to bubble. That's when he started calling me names, Nadich said. I grabbed my backpack and my sweatshirt and I got up to leave the class. The energy changed in there. I just wanted to remove myself from it. I didn't want to get into it with him. I can still just feel it, she said, running her hand down the side of her face. Nadich then turned to open the door, her final memory before blinking into consciousness in the hospital. Her son, then a senior at the school, had been sitting at a nearby classroom as his mother was attacked. The stunned teen was pulled from his classroom, told what happened, and rode with Nadich in an ambulance to the emergency room. Saddled with ongoing medical and psychological complications, Nadich said she is still battling with school district for adequate workers' compensation. It's really messed up that these schools actually treat their teachers like this, or their paraprofessionals. I was angry, she said, at her treatment in the wake of the incident. It's not like I faked my injury, it's on video. They all know what happened to me. This is something of a magnitude. The viciousness, that has never happened in this county. I expect more from an employer from my county than to be treated like some person who faked it all. And that's just a shame. It is on camera. She did go to the hospital. She does have broken ribs. She did have a concussion. It's just sad that how these schools try to get away with this stuff. A judge will decide Depa's fate on January 31st. He already pleaded guilty and faces a term of anywhere between probation and 30 years behind bars. Depa's supporters assert the dysfunctional childhood and mental deficits and should mitigate his term, while others, including Nadich, say he is undeserving of such. And I'm going to have to tend to agree with her on that, because she should be able to expect to go to work in a safe environment. And there might be a little bit of risk working with special needs, but there should be security in place to protect the teachers and the paraprofessionals and other students, frankly. I mean, she is an adult woman, but what if he had turned that aggression onto a smaller student? Could have ended up way worse than this. So anyways, I just wanted to catch you guys up on the latest with this story. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.